the Student Loan Trust Fund has dismissed claims that teacher trainee allowances have been restructured into a student loan system. The response followed media reports that teacher trainees are expected to pay back monies given them as allowances once they gain employment. A statement issued by management of the Student Loan Trust Fund, however, says the fund has only been mandated by government to facilitate payment because they have the systems required to do so. Kofi Abru-Nkrumah is head of operations at the Student Loan Trust Fund. He's here in the studio with me. We're going to start by first talking about the Student Loan Trust Fund itself. What is its current state? You're welcome, sir.
Fine, thank you, Gifty.
Tell us about the state of affairs with the Student Loan Trust Fund.
Thank you very much for the opportunity given us. Student Loan Trust Fund is an agency under the Ministry of Education, and we are into provision of financial support for tertiary students in the country. Currently, as we speak, we have disbursed loans to over 95,000 Ghanaian students.
Okay. And
when the loans that we give to you is due, we also have put in place the mechanism to recover the loans that we have given you. So that's what we are currently doing.
How are you recovering the loans? Because the last time I spoke to, I think, the head of the trust fund, one of the things she said was that you're putting in place some mechanisms because in the past it's been very difficult for you to track people and to take back the money. So what are have there been any changes? Are you able to properly get back the money that you give to students?
Yes, there's laid down rules and regulations so far as recoveries are concerned. When you take the Student Loan Trust Fund Act 820 of 2011, Section 24 of the Act states that every employer has to inquire from the employee whether has been a beneficiary of the trust fund.
Okay.
And if you inquire from the employee and is a beneficiary of the trust fund, you need to get back to us. Then we'll give you the details of that employee. But we will not even wait for you, the employer, to contact us. We have a system. What we do is that before you apply for the loan, we make you to get SNIT number. And the SNIT number is a mandatory requirement. So when you complete school, you have 2 years grace period. After that, we query the SNIT database, so you know where you are working.
Okay.
Then we rather contact your employers, and there will be a monthly deductions to the trust fund to exhaust the repayment of the loan. Apart from that, we have other means of getting the borrowers to pay, assuming you are not in the formal sector and you contribute to SNIT. You are in the informal sector. We have collaborations with other agencies, or we also use the public. That is maybe the radio, or even what we are doing today. It's a form of adverts or information that are getting to the public. Through that, we're able to get the borrowers to repay the loan.
Okay.
So we must say that we started repayment from 2011. It's not bad, we are doing well.
It's not bad, you're doing well.
Yeah.
I want you to truthfully, sincerely speak to the people of Ghana and tell them that the monies that you've gotten through the taxpayer, which you have lent out to students, that you've been able to retrieve them. Would you say, can you confidently say that monies that have gone out have been retrieved?
Well, currently, I can say that we are doing well, but there's more room for improvement.
Okay, let's talk about the room for improvement. That's where
where the challenge is now is that, for instance, the person is not in the formal sector, and we are trying to get him. If you're unable to get, you have to get in touch with a guarantor. If you're unable to get a guarantor, that is what the challenge is. But through this medium, we are able to reach out to those out there.
Like they care? I mean, if someone owes you, and you can't reach them,
and apart from that, some of the strategies that we have also put in place now is to collaborate with some institutions. Okay. For instance, the National Identification Authority, Health Insurance Authority, DVLA, all these agencies, we are contacting them to help us to trace borrowers. Then we get to them. Okay.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to get. No, sure. You are not doing bad. I like that bit. We're not doing bad. It doesn't still mean that we're doing good. But let's talk about how the accusations, of course, that we're getting that trainee allowance, the trainee allowance system, is now being sort of converted into a student loan system. Your statement says that's not true. Educate us a bit more.
Yeah, like I said, we are an agency under the Ministry of Education. And somewhere 2013-14, allowances to the College of Education were abolished. and now the government has taken a decision to restore the allowances in full. And Student Loan Trust Fund, we are dealing with students. So the students are our target group. And fortunately, we have all the systems and mechanisms in place to disburse these allowances. So our sector ministry, that's the Ministry of Education, we had a discussions with them. They look at our system that we have put in place. So that this perfect system that can help to disburse the allowances to students. So it's allowances that we are going to disburse to colleges of education students.
So they're not going to be paying back?
It's not a loan. This one, there's nothing like you putting an application form or getting a guarantor. And when you complete school too, there's nothing like we chasing you or tracing you for you to repay. So it's virtually free.
So trainees who are on allowances, so the teacher trainees, the nurses, etc., should rest assured that they're not, monies they're receiving is not a form of loan.
Yeah, it's not a form of loan. It's free money that we are giving them. But let me explain this.
Please.
So first, we are concerned now. It is Ministry of Education that have communicated to us to disburse to colleges of education. We are yet to hear from Ministry of Health so far the nurses are concerned. So now we are talking about the colleges of education, the 41 colleges of education. That is public colleges of education. That's what we are talking about. But
because there have been some documents going around, especially on social media, that's asking people to register with the Student Loan Trust Fund. So from what you're saying, what they're doing is just registering with you so that they can get their allowances.
It's not even about registration. I think that one was also a misconception. Let me explain that one too as well. We had a meeting with PRINCOF. PRINCOF is the principals of colleges of education. We did a presentation to them on how the allowances are going to be disbursed. We got their input and we added to it. The registration we are talking about it here is not to register with the trust fund. When the schools reopen, somewhere in the middle of September going, the students have to register in their schools. The reason why I want you to register is that we don't want to give the loan, we don't want to give the allowance to students who will not be in school. So that you can even get an admission in a college of education. Later you will not go, you find yourself in the university. So we want you to register with your school. Your name should be on the enrollment list. And the schools will give the enrollment list to the trust fund. And the trust fund will disburse the allowances to you. But there are certain things that the student has to do because of the numbers that we are looking at. And we don't want the situation whereby we end up paying somebody that we are not supposed to pay. So the students are supposed to get SNIT numbers. Getting a SNIT number doesn't mean that we are giving a loan. The SNIT number is a unique identifier. That is why we ask the student to get the SNIT numbers. So when you get the SNIT number and we disburse the allowance to you, for instance, my name is Kofi Abiyo Nkrumah. There can be somebody also called Kofi Abiyo Nkrumah in some another place. But the SNIT number is a unique identifier. That is why we ask the student to get a SNIT number. So you have to get a SNIT number, and now we have made an arrangement of SNIT. So currently, colleges of education students who are in level 200 now, level 300 now, and they're at home now, they can go to any SNIT offices across the country on Saturdays from morning to 4 p.m. They will give you the biometric SNIT card for free.
I see.
And this exercise will continue up to September ending. And those who will be going to the colleges of education, that's the level 100, who will be entering in 2017-18 academic year. We have also arranged with SNIT. They will be coming to your campuses and then enroll you onto the biometric card. For instance, if you have the SNIT number already and it's not a biometric, and you are a continuous student, that is why in level 200 or 300 you are at home, you can go to them and they will do the re-enrollment for you. But the most important thing is that the name that will be on your SNIT card should be the same name that will be on your admission letter or the student ID card that the College of Education has given to you. If there's differences in spelling or differences in names, when the school submits your information to us, you will not be paid. There's a point that they need to get. Apart from the SNIT number, we also ask the student to get eSwitch account number, and eSwitch is also free. The student can go to any bank of their choice for the eSwitch account number. And the reason why we ask for the eSwitch account number is that when payment is done, it's instant. The trust fund will also send you SMS. So this one, to the name on your eSwitch card should be the same name on your student ID and your SNIT card too as well. And this is very important information. So if this one is true, you'll be getting your allowance without any difficulty.
Will that be the final information that students need to have, especially those from the colleges of education should have about this process?
Yeah, the most important thing is that they shouldn't panic. The trust fund is ready to disburse allowance to them. And the most important is their name. The name on their ID card, the SNET card, the EASY card should be the same spelling. And when the European school, you just have to go and register. The principals are aware of that. They will send your information to us and we disburse to.
Great. Okay. Well, so if you're at home and you're wondering whether or not what you're taking from the Student Loan Trust Fund as a teacher trainee, for instance, they're saying that rest assured, the money they're giving you, you're not going to have to pay back. Just make sure that you're in school and you're learning to come and teach other people. That's it, right?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for coming through. Kofi Abreu Nkrumah is head of operations at the Student Loan Trust Fund, giving us that clarification on that vexed issue. Away from that, also government considers lifting the ban on the use of mobile phones in schools to enhance teaching and learning of ICT. According to the Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei-Duchum, it will be reasonable for schools without ICT facilities to allow students to use mobile phones. He noted that we need to, as a country, satisfy the demand of the 21st century to ensure the students have access to the hidden content on the internet, which will be beneficial to them. The other side of the debate also is there. But watch this.
If you happen to be in a school setting where students have access to, they don't have access to, let's say, computers, and they happen to have access to phones with internet connectivity, it will make sense for teachers to know how to explore technology and to be able to direct the students and say, hey, this website is on your phone. You can go to Khan Academy, and when you go to Khan Academy, there are some activities that you can do there. And if teachers can put work online, and students don't have access to computers at home, and they don't have access to computer at school, and they have access to the internet, they should be able to do their work on the phone. So my whole thing is, we need to look at each situation and see, are we looking at 21st century and the demands of 21st century to make sure that our students have access to the content that is hidden on the internet that they may otherwise not have access to.
You're still watching The Pulse with me, Gifty and Opi. I'm going to take a very quick break. When I return, I have a very exciting personality in the studio with me. We're talking about women, and I am very biased when it comes to women. Take it or leave it. I can't really help it. But I have a very exciting person. Like I said, Stephanie Okereke will join me in the studio right after this. Please stay with us.